Hello, my queens, and welcome back. Let me get my mic in front of me so that I can make sure you can hear me. But I want to tell you today one of the most incredible tools that you need in life, but especially in relationships, which is how to stop giving your power away, first of all, and most importantly, how to get it back, especially if you are someone who feels like they've really lost themselves in their relationship. If you feel like you keep going in these cycles of not getting what you want with men or with your man, he's not showing up the way that you really want him to. You want him to be more masculine, or maybe how he was at the beginning. You want to experience that polarity with him. You want him chasing you, hunting you down. And ultimately, the reason that this is no longer happening, or never happened in the first place, is because you've given your power away. So, first of all, what we need to get you doing is stop looking for validation from him. I'll be the first one to admit, the feminine really loves validation from the masculine. So this is something that naturally feels super good to us as women, to be validated, right? To be praised. Now, those are kind of two different things. But if you are seeking your validation in him, in the relationship, in how it looks to other people, in this picture of him that you have in your head that maybe he's not even really showing up as anymore or never was, you are making him the power. And ultimately, anything that you're making the power has control over you. So what we want to do is move out of making anything external the power, especially in this context, making your man the power. He's not. You are the power. You are the power. You need to learn how to validate yourself. Now, I hope this doesn't sound too harsh, because that's not what I mean by this. But you need to start giving yourself the things that you want from him. So literally so simple. You want flowers, he's not getting them for you. You get yourself the damn flowers every week. You want dates, you want nice dinners, go and pick it up. Go and eat there. Look extremely hot and go and eat at the nice restaurant, right? So, what is this doing? Yes, you can say this is teaching him what you like, don't like, da-da-da-da. But I don't like to put it that way, or I don't like to do it with that intention, right? Because it's still making him the power. It's still like, oh, I'm showing up and giving this to myself so that he will see it and he will know how to treat me. Well, the focus is still on him. The focus is still on your man. The focus is not on you. When you validate yourself and give yourself in your inner world, give it to yourself, buy it for yourself, whatever it is. Maybe it's a feeling, maybe it's flowers, dinner, all of the things that make you feel amazing. When I say give it to yourself, it is because you get to experience that. Like, it is your preference to experience it, no matter where it comes from. You don't have to wait on him to give it to you. If you're doing this, you are unintentionally making him the power, right? So, go back to my notebook here. There's no more seeking his approval, seeking his love even, or seeking anything from him if you've lost your power in your relationship. I mean, if you were in your power, you wouldn't really be seeking this from him anyway. Receiving and seeking, trying to get and receiving, are two different things. Trying to get, trying to manipulate, all of this, you think it's putting you in your power. It is not. It is not. It is making the other person the power in the situation. So if you want to resort to that, go for it, to each their own. But in reality, your power comes from being internally sourced. That is the key here. So number 2, well, I'll leave this with number 1, is ultimately what this is doing is bringing back all of your time and energy, like your brain power. You can only think so much in one day. You're bringing all this back to you. You're bringing all of this back to yourself so that you can use it for whatever you want. You can work out, you can paint, you can start a business, you can make YouTube videos, you can, be with your child more, you can hang out with your friends more. That's what this is doing. It's bringing the energy back to you, because if you are giving your power away, you are likely exuding a lot of the energy and putting it towards the other person in the relationship in a not so healthy way, right? So, number 2, this is going to sound not good when I say it like this, but I'll explain. So, what you want to do as well as validating yourself is kind of what we just said, but you want to starve him of your emotional depth, of your feminine energy, you could say. Now, again, I really want to clarify this. This is not manipulation. This is not manipulation. Or it should not be done with the intention of, if I starve him of this, I'm going to withhold, I'm going to punish, right? Then he will do this, right? If I do X, he does Y. That is not the energy I want you to come from, because that is making him the power again. So this is not a punishment. This is not a thing that you're doing to get back, because again, that would be focus on him. That would be focusing on keeping the cycle going, giving energy to the cycle, making him the focus. That's not what we're doing here, because if you do that, it will not work. It will not work. It may seem like it's working at first, but long term, he still knows you are doing this for him, right? And ultimately, it's not, again, that you just want to be like, F you, I'm not doing anything for you, to him. This is about allowing yourself to bring the energy back to you, because you are just exerting it for no reason. Like, it's not helping the relationship. It's not ultimately benefiting him. It's not benefiting you either. So this isn't a punishment. This is just kind of a regroup, right? A regroup, if that makes sense. So what I mean by this too is starving him of the energy, starving him of the emotional depth, is a lot of people think this means shut off your feminine energy, which it does, but you shouldn't, again, be doing that to get something. This is just something that naturally happens when a man is not in his masculine energy. He's not treating you the way he wants to be, or the way you want to be treated, from his own preference, not because you're like, you have to, right? Of course, like, we all want that. But what this is you're not just starving him of the positives of feminine energy, but of also your emotional reactions. This is still your feminine energy. This is still your feminine depth. People think reactions are a negative thing, a bad thing. I mean, they can be, but ultimately, this is still your feminine energy. It's not the masculine energy. So your emotional reactions, regardless of if they are positive or negative, they are still your emotional depth. And that's like a lot of energy to give away, right? So I want you to step away from doing that, right? Because he's still feeling you. Like, he's still being rewarded, and his wishy-washy behavior, or, him not treating you well, is still being rewarded, because he's still getting your attention when you are reacting. And this is not what we want here. We want the attention to come back to you so that you can recenter and refocus on yourself. And we'll get to that in the third one as well. But when you go about this from, I'm going to perform, I'm going to put on a performance where I am punishing him, holding back, all of that, like I said, you're still focusing on him. So do not put on a performance for him. Do not put on a show to ultimately get what you want. Trust me. When you go about this in the feminine way, I don't mean self-centered in a bad way, but self-care focused way, this is going to work. This is not, so many people are worried that, oh, well, if I take the attention away from him, I'm never going to get what I want. And if that's the case, ultimately, do you want to be with someone like that? Like, do you want to be with a man? I mean, that's not masculine. Do you want to be with someone like that? And no shame to it. It's more, do you really want to live your life with a boyfriend, husband, partner, whatever, who's not ultimately going to and is not willing to meet your feminine depths so that you can grow in polarity together? Because I know, personally, I could not handle that. That's something that's very important to me. To any feminine woman, it is, whether she knows it or not. So that's what you have to ask yourself here. And that's what's at stake for you keeping the cycle going and basically wasting your own time, either dragging out the inevitable or keeping both of you in this very stuck place where you're not going to be polarized either way. Like, the relationship is just not going to be ideal in this state, right? So to finish this point up, when you are arguing, when you are emotionally reacting, when you are keeping the cycle going and you're fueling it, you're still making him the power because he is the focus, right? Whatever the focus is the power. So to be able to take your power back, you have to refocus it on yourself. Now, this gives him room to step up. Not our third point yet, but this actually gives him the room to step up. Because also, maybe he's been wanting to, but he's felt defensive because of the cycle that you're in, right? So it gives him the opportunity to step up. Okay, so number 3, I think you'll love this one, is step back into viewing yourself as the prize. At the beginning of the relationship, or at some point, I'm sure that you have viewed yourself as the prize, the queen. You treated yourself that way. You were very in touch with yourself. You had your power. And you were absolutely magnetic when that was happening, right? So that's what we want to go back to. You need to go back and do whatever you need to do in order to do this, right? Like, start getting ready again every day or something like that, something simple. Start working out again, start eating healthy again. And I want you to focus on really viewing yourself as the queen, the prize, the goddess, like whatever resonates for you, the princess. I want you to view yourself that way 1000%. Like, be all in on it. Not only, like, this is not just for him. This is not just for the relationship. This is for how you are going to treat yourself, which is ultimately the most important thing. How you saw yourself in the beginning, if he was spoiling you, he was a gentleman, he was showing up for you, he was meeting your standards, and then suddenly is not anymore. You saw yourself as the queen in some way, shape, or form. You saw yourself as that. So go back into that, because I know that that's how you prefer to experience yourself anyways, right? So there's no, like, regardless if you're doing this for him, not for him, for the relationship, just make sure to go back to point number 2, and we're not doing it for him. This is for you. This is for your experience. Taking the power back is for you because you are the power. That's what being the prize is knowing and understanding that ultimately you are the power. So when you start seeing yourself this way, obviously you will show up for yourself differently and you will tolerate different things. When you're the queen, you're not emotionally reacting and giving away your energy for free to everything. So make this one of those things as well. You are no longer reacting. You're viewing yourself as the queen. You are going to go about your day and do the things that you enjoy rather than making it all about, oh my God, am I getting what I want from him? Oh my God, is he going to show up today? Oh my gosh, he forgot this. Oh, he didn't get me this. Who cares? We are emotionally detaching because That is the requirement for taking your power back. If you are still attached, and I mean, I'm not saying don't care, obviously, like, you'll care about it. But if you're detached in the fact of, I'm just going to do my thing. I'm not seeking validation from anyone anymore. I'm deciding to give that to myself because that's beautiful. And I'm taking my power back. You will watch everything show up extremely differently, radically different in your relationship. So, I hope this was helpful. I did want to announce that I have a Valentine's sale going on right now for all of my self-paced programs and courses. And I do have one spot left for my Voxer. So that'd be 4 weeks of daily private coaching with me, which is insane. And I want to let you know that all of the programs right now are on the Valentine's Day sale. So I'll leave that link below, and as well as the Voxer offer. And you can go follow me on Instagram. I'll see you in the next video.